What is up, everybody? Well, besides a little roll-o-vision, of course, I think it gets a little bit better if I get closer to the screen. Man, I need a new TV. So, we got to talk about the ad blocker thing, specifically the most important detail that completely and totally slipped through the cracks. And that is, people can choose to use ad blockers, and that's a personal decision that they make. The fact that it harms creators, as I've seen it do, just shows me that part of the problem here is that YouTube has a system that punishes creators for something that they cannot control. Let's take a look at the most recent round of numbers over the last 28. As usual, the washer and dryer video smashed the crap out of everything else, with 2,000 plus views a month. And, of course, very favorable ratios, so the Scroogey algorithms, of course, send them again and again and again after nearly 5 years to an endless audience where years after they were uploaded, they're getting thousands of views every month. Of course, they also make a decent amount of money, too, for YouTube. They consistently make money for YouTube, they consistently get promoted, as opposed to the dead Windows 8 versus the Dellosaurus, which consistently gets destroyed day after day after day. And hey, what do you know? It's just the way that I've watched this system run for the last couple of years. So, there you go. Time and again, it doesn't matter what I upload, because eventually the ad blocker squad gets to it and it's all over. Doesn't matter what the view counts are, and then of course, naturally YouTube channels will attrition their audience over the years, so people get bored with the channel or whatever and stop watching, and then who shows up to keep watching once that's all over? Not going to happen if the algorithms aren't promoting your content because of the whole ad blocker thing. It's really terrible stuff. You know, I would love for YouTube to be my favorite platform for doing this kind of stuff on, but this plus the way the brass handle everything, including Susan What's-Her-Face, just completely destroys any zeal that I once had for this platform. And that's why I keep talking about these things over and over again. But all of this doesn't matter when compared to the very important detail that the reason why my channel is getting boat anchored by this ad blocker thing is because YouTube has a system that I've seen over and over again punish creators for something beyond their control. What can I do other than advocate for people to not use ad blockers? I can fiercely advocate it. But that's really the extent of what I can do. I can show you the numbers, I can tell you you are hurting content creators by doing this, but that's really all I can do with this ad blocker thing. People are still going to make a personal decision or decide to blow me off or decide I don't know what I'm talking about or I'm an idiot or whatever and still use ad blockers. It's on YouTube with the technical side to find out how to solve this ad blocker problem. And at the very least, if they can't do that, they need to have a system where creators are not punished because their content gets ad blocked too much. I've watched these ratios over and over again and seen them correspond with videos no longer getting views or videos barely getting any exposure in the span of a month, especially bonus points for my channel not having time-sensitive content. So a lot of what I upload is just as interesting to someone watching it sometimes years down the road as it is when I upload it. I don't do very time-sensitive content because of other problems with YouTube's algorithms, but therefore my content should be interesting to people somewhere on this site for an extremely long time. But it always comes down to money. Too many ad blockers, stuff goes nowhere, and by extension, the channel goes nowhere. But all of this is because of that one killer detail, that YouTube has this very established pattern for constantly dumping on the creators for stuff that's beyond the creators' control, and that they should be working on improving from a technical perspective on their end. Oh, too many people ad blocking on YouTube? Well, YouTube needs to come up with technical solutions to the ad block problem, not just dump everything on the creators if their content gets ad blocked too much because of a problem they haven't solved yet. It's all part of the algorithm. Your channel amounts to anything or doesn't based on whether the algorithm sends your content around. And I've seen a very clear pattern that too much ad blocking buries your channel. That's why I'm so upset about it. That's why I've spoken up about it so much. But all of this is due to YouTube deciding that this is going to be the system. Until they change this, they are partially responsible for all of these discouraged creators out there who are wondering why their numbers are sinking. As opposed to, well, actually, no, before we do that, let's go over to the channel page itself and let me show you the latest rotten fruit of this whole mess, which YouTube is partially responsible for. We have established the washer and dryer video are getting over 2,000 views a month. Geek House Laundry is at 113 grand. Windows 8 versus the Dellosaurus is at 115 grand. And view counts on the channel page are always lower than they actually are because views are being vetted to determine their legitimacy. However, assuming these are up-to-date numbers, next month or by summer, the washer video will be more successful than Windows 8 versus the Dellosaurus. So once again, the most successful video on the channel, not a tech video. And the tech videos get held back and hindered and hamstrung, and they sink and sink and sink, while videos that attract a more mainstream audience that doesn't ad block all over the place do substantially better. I saw this coming with the dryer video, and I saw this coming with the washer video, but the washer video was slower to pick up the slack than the dryer video was. So what a pity. What a pity that once again tech content is going to be knocked down a peg because of this problem. And all of it because of this ongoing problem where YouTube keeps punishing creators for stuff that's beyond their control. As opposed to Twitch, a much simpler system, perhaps to a fault. Twitch has a system where you pretty much know why your channel's not doing well if you're a rookie like me. Oh, I get one viewer in the stream, a random lurker who never says anything in the chat. Why? Man, I know I'm putting plenty of effort into my streams, and Twitch isn't promoting me. Well, that's because their systems are a lot more crude than YouTube's. YouTube has algorithms going every which way. Here on the main page is the closest thing that Twitch has to an algorithm. I've shown a lot of interest in ESO, so Live Channels We Think You'll Like begins with the ESO couple, Desh Please and Lucky Ghost TV, who stream ESO during the night, and they've become a recent inspiration for me to keep on keeping on with what I'm doing. So, but here's the thing. Lucky Ghost has nearly 1,000 viewers right now. Desh has only about 500, but she's being listed first. But this right here is the closest thing to an algorithm. This one row right here under Live Channels We Think You'll Like. The categories are a more general approach to this. And then you have recommended smaller communities, which fortunately are sticking to genres I've expressed interest in, like ESO. This palette box guy with 36 viewers. But the thing is, you have to start getting viewers in order to get into even this category. So the question is, where do you get those viewers from, other than like telling your friends and family, hey, just have my stream going in the background or something like that? How do you get yourself going on a channel on a platform like this? And that's really part of the problem with Twitch, is that they're a little bit too simple and they come up short on your ability to be discovered on here, whereas even YouTube does a better job in some ways than this. Twitch is a much simpler system, but at least we can know that it's the simplicity of the system that's holding our channel back, as opposed to whatever YouTube is these days. So much stuff going on, nobody can tell you how it works, and nobody wants to be transparent, so you have to go digging through the numbers to try and establish analytics trends that give you maybe just a bit of a clue of how this black box system actually works. And even then, you can't know for certain that you're right. As opposed to, oh yeah, I'm a newbie to Twitch, I haven't been streaming on a regular basis, I haven't been streaming for very long, that's why nobody watches, because their system's so crude that you're not going to make that first jump until you have regular viewers and whatnot. I might dig through Twitch's analytics as well, but from what I've seen so far, that's a lot cruder than YouTube as well. So, anyways, and that is why, if you head over... But the thing is, though, at least I can know that Twitch is just too crude, and that's why I'm having a hard time building an audience on here. And it's infamous for that. If you're not already established by now, you've got a long way to go. Matter of fact, there's people recommending that you upload gaming videos to YouTube, so some of your Twitch content can get picked up by YouTube algorithms, which will get you some exposure for people to come watch your stream. And then you just have to stream consistently at the same time, which I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to nail down, with my schedule being very different for the next month than it normally is. So, that's the thing. But at least I know that the system on Twitch is crude and that it's not punishing creators for stuff beyond their control. So that's one of the reasons, these differences are one of the reasons why, if you head over to my Twitter, you're going to see it's basically a combined feed. Here's my latest stream, here's a clip of Rush Limbaugh that I was talking about during the stream, here's a couple of highlights and clips and stuff like that, and some articles that are relevant, Hey Orc, Last Call for Vampires, and of course YouTube videos and other stuff go into this feed as well over on Twitter. But it's just an alternative to what YouTube is these days because of the shortcomings of these platforms. So I have it all together because I'm on multiple platforms, so I give people one thing to follow. So that way they want to follow everything MultimediaJay, it is there. But for now, part of the reason why I'm bouncing back and forth between these platforms is because of the shortcomings of YouTube, one of which is right here, that creators are punished for things beyond their control. I shouldn't have to worry about whether or not people use ad blockers. That should be something YouTube collectively should be dealing with, not having systems that punish creators because, oh, whoops, too many of the people who want to watch their videos are using ad blockers. So yes, I can tell you ferociously if I have to that this hurts creators, don't do it. But that's the extent of what I can do. Ultimately, YouTube needs to be the ones who takes the initiative to fix this once and for all. That they need to sue creators for things beyond their control. This is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.